on, brother?
I'm too big in the frame. Let me back my ass up. Well, I'm all up in the frame, man. What's happening though?
Not much, man. Glad you can make it, man.
You took me back freshman year, FAMU, with that East Coast shit. I had not heard, my Alabama ass had heard not nan syllable of Wu-Tang, Ghostface, none of them until I got to college, dog.
Yeah. I was kind of East Coast head when I was in high school. So my brother put me on all that stuff. My brother my little brother put me on the Nas.
You know what it was though? Because like North Carolina, like y'all was in that weird pocket where like y'all would wear bubble vests but still eat cheese grits. Like y'all was
yes.
But I don't want to waste this. Let's get started, man. I know we only got Roy for a limited time, so I'm trying to here we go. All right. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on what appears to be Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you find podcasts. Search the Blackout Tips. Will come up. The official weapon of the show is
the taser,
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball,
and bullet ball extreme. And today we got a very special guest, friend of the show, homie, friend, friend in real life. Okay, the kind of person you text when you see some crazy shit is happening and you don't want to say what's going on Twitter. Today's guest is comedian, actor, podcaster, snack activist, or as I like to say, snacktivist.
Don't you dare! Don't you
they used to call him Malcolm. They used to call him Malcolm Little Debbie, but now they call him Malcolm Chex. Snack Turner, Booker Talenti Washington, Martin Dairy Cream, Ida Bluebells, and my favorite Huey Fig Newton. It's Roy Wood Jr. What's going on, brother Jr.?
I'll take that. Huey Fig Newton. That whole Juneteenth ice cream fiasco is just, you just got to watch what you say on a slow day on Twitter. Certain tweets you got to sneak in when everybody mad. Like I should have waited to when they was trying to cancel Lizzo the other day, and then just snuck in my Juneteenth tweet real fast. But you sneak in on the slow day, yo.
Yeah, you became the main character of Twitter, which you never really want to be the main character of Twitter.
Either way, you don't want to be.
Even on the good days, yeah.
It's not. I really hate that journalism on some days is just a reporter, not even a reporter, probably just some associate digital producer, just aggregating tweets on the same issue and just putting them in an article and then going, these people were outraged. You can't put every tweet under one adjective, motherfucker. Like, no, I wasn't outraged. Like,
for those that don't know, this is Alabama Life and Culture that I got this headline from. So this is like home state. This is
AL.com.
Yeah, like these are people. They said Walmart pulls Juneteenth ice cream. Roy Wood Jr. called out on social media.
First off, I didn't call it out. It was Tariq Nasheed or Dr. Umar. It was one of them niggas who struck first, but you scared to put them in your article. You don't want to put them in your article.
Yeah, you don't want their problem. You don't want the hoteps out.
So you put my retweet of their picture in the article, then go, I was just cracking on the shit, but I get it, man. You know, blue check, and then you with the Daily Show. They think everything is some serious evisceration of whatever's happening in the culture. I'm just trying to get off some ice cream jokes. I want to try the shit. I'm happy. I'm happy that we found Creamalicious in the midst of this fiasco. Shout out to Creamalicious that was already doing black-owned ice cream.
Absolutely delicious.
But I just, I don't know, man. I just think that's why I say, I don't know if you people on my Twitter. Yeah. I don't really dabble in a lot of politics.
Right.
I'll post stuff that we do on the show. The Daily Show is where I'm going to talk about all that shit. And then you can understand the context. But if we talking, one of my last tweets in the last 24 hours is about me hoping that Buzz Lightyear end up in an interracial relationship because they keep showing that black chick. In the Buzz Lightyear preview, they keep showing that black woman, and she looking at him with that twinkle. She got that Disney twinkle in her. They fucking. And that's my wheelhouse. Interracial cartoon relationships. That's where I am on the.
I mean, they already done banned that movie in Saudi Arabia because apparently they have a same-sex kiss at some point in this movie. So I feel like an interracial kiss, like, go ahead, double down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already mad at the movie for kissing anyway.
Yeah, Disney and Pixar and all of them though, man, they getting, they're in a rock and a hard place because they want to be centrist because they want everybody's money.
Everybody.
But now it's which group is the most vocal who we will appease to. So you put a same-sex kiss in one of these movies, then all the devout Christians get mad. But then if you take it out, then everybody else on the left is going to get mad. So, what do you do, man? I just think if Disney was smart, they would just have you remember you could buy a DVD back in the day, and then you could buy the director's on director's cut on NC-17, all the gore, and they need that, but for Disney. You need a wokey woke version for Disney. And then you need a Yes Queen, Saucy Santana version of Buzz Lightyear. You need more.
You just have different, you just have 15 minutes changed in each one. You don't have to change the majority of the movie. It's just about 15 minutes. And then you just you want to go to 10:30 showing? Okay, well that's the conservative Christian whack version. Here's the Black Power version. I could get with that. I don't know what they're gonna do with certain movies. Though. What you gonna do with Black Panther 2?
Yeah, LB in the chat right now. He said Toy Story, the Snyder cut.
Yeah,
that's what you need. That's exactly what you need, dog.
You know what you stumbled into though, man, and I think this is a cultural shift that's just happened where Twitter and social media set the tone. It feels like everyone's turned in a fucking book report on everything. Where it's just for instance, if I was just I don't know what the news is today, but let's say this Walmart Juneteenth thing. If I was well, this is actually an extension of capitalism. You see what I'm saying? When you live in a first world country, capitalism will then make a product. And it's I explain that on Twitter. Some reporter somewhere aggregates that. That's the article. The replies is, this is the outrage. And it does suck because as a person that loves satire, loves humor, I hate when my shit gets caught up in their shit. You know what I mean? Where I'm no. I'm saying funny things.
Yes, I'm joking. Yes.
They be using you to support something far more serious. And it's on the one hand, I get it, but it's dude, I just don't know, man. Have y'all even gone to the movies yet? I Top Gun broke me. With two movies. Everything Everywhere at Once and Top Gun.
Really.
And I was fuck it, I gotta go to the movies. I gotta go see in the movie theater.
We've been going to a handful of movies, not like we used to go to movies every week
on
Thursday,
2 or 3 times a week.
And now what we do is we try to coordinate our time off so we can go during when it's not crowded.
The daytime when all the other people at work.
Yeah, so we planning on seeing Top Gun this week.
You gotta be careful though, because you wait too long. That'd be when people be in there fucking.
Third
week out, midday, them the fucking.
To me, that's a bonus show. You know what I'm saying? That's they normally be done with that by the preview.
And they normally in the back. We be in the front.
That's a first act.
Ain't no round two. You can't.
Ain't no
an hour through the movie.
I've never seen nobody make it to the third act. You know what I'm saying? they be ready to go home.
Everybody want to go take a nap.
Yeah, 3 trailers in, they sleeping.
I just told this story on my podcast, Roy's Job Fair, a couple weeks ago. We was talking about films and shit, and I only tried to have sex in the movies one time. Barbershop 2, Back in Business. And it wasn't on purpose, but it was just, one thing lead to another. But then I fucked up because I went to the black theater. So the armrest didn't let up. So we couldn't get couldn't turn it into no couch. So we couldn't even do nothing.
That's a rookie move. And for y'all that's too young, that's before they had recliner seats and shit. These new theaters, some of them got recliner seats.
Some of them are beds.
Yeah, you can get a love seat in the front and shit. They didn't have none of that.
We didn't lean back or nothing.
Yeah, we was having
the black movie theater. The black movie theater was all seats from an old Greyhound bus crash.
Yeah,
they was fixed.
And they weren't going nowhere.
When movie theaters got rid of the colored section and them chairs had to go somewhere, they just all went to the black theater only.
Them shits is right up there. Sidebar, have y'all noticed? No, I don't be going to church as often as I'm supposed to. When did the seats get this good in black church? Nigga, Black Church got some you need to go to Black Church, boy. I'm telling you, they got a little cup holder. You get your own little communion cup holder now.
Want me to tell you why? Because people won't see where they tithes and offering going. It ain't like it used to be. You know, these new school could be like, I'm paying tithes and offering. I'm building fund. I need to be comfortable up in here.
You are gonna be there for a while. Maybe
yes, you are.
Maybe some black people went to a white church and then came back.
These black churches got them economy comfort seats now. It ain't that wooden. It ain't your grandmama wooden church pew
they
bullshit
kill your back.
no more.
All over the whole thing,
is
but just
nice.
the front.
It depends on your mega church. Choose your fighter. Like you can go with some bullshit, or you can get one of them Creflo Dollar where everybody get an individual. Look like the front. Look like them first 10 rows of the baseball or basketball game.
Like you're on the floor.
Here's what you
made me think about. 4 seats.
Here's what you made me think about with the movies, Roy. Have you ever heard of this app called Run P?
That's the one that it tells you the best time to go take a piss?
Yeah, in the movie.
During the movie.
You can leave. They should have like a come fuck app that's like for the best time to have sex in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Because it might not line up for time, but
and they need time frames, and 1 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Right. Ain't nothing happening in the second act. That's when she found out he Batman. You can go ahead and fuck right there.
I got a homeboy that had sex during the Matrix. I'm like, nigga, you can not take your eye off the screen in that movie.
They didn't know what was happening in that
there
movie.
is not a wasted line of dialogue in that film. Like you are lost.
Right. And he probably thought the movie was all right. That shit overrated.
Nah, I never been in the movies when anybody's been fucking. I have been on the plane when a girl was getting fingered though. I do know that was happening.
Yeah.
It's a Southwest flight. They was in front of me.
Southwest.
And I could just see his hand, and she had the way she was reclining and the way I was leaning against the window, I could see straight ahead.
Right.
Like on the side. Like I don't want y'all to, because I know
on the side,
like I'm on some creep shit, think I'm
right.
Nigga.
So I got my dick in my hand, right?
Yeah, I play with her coochie. No, but she just kept.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, women be trying to and I'm like, oh shit. And you see it happen, and then like when you get off the plane, I'm trying to look at him to tell him like fucking good job, but without her seeing me see him, because that's what men do.
Meanwhile,
I don't know if you know
everybody could probably hear it because it probably sound like macaroni and cheese on the fucking in the economy.
I give them props. They had the blanket. They had the coat little action or whatever. He wasn't like, damn, Rod. He wasn't like.
I mean, listen, I don't know how people get down. I've never tried no Mile High Club.
He was locked. He was just locked and making the circles. He wasn't like, I
feel like
you
they
never
don't
know. You let the internet tell you that's what's happening all the time.
Honestly, for these plane
that and the $200 dates.
For these plane ticket prices, that's not enough. I need you to go all the way in. It costs too much to fly places. The fuel is going up. You gotta be fisting now.
They would sell more tickets if they had like a little fuck booth in there. I had an idea for a minute. For Uber, but you remember? Fuck, I can talk to y'all about this shit. Them porn, that porn bang bus.
Yeah,
where it's just a bus where it's just people fucking in like a Volkswagen Beetle. It's like a 15-passenger van with no seats.
Yeah,
it's just an open space in the back, and just people be fucking, and they just be riding.
They be riding around Florida recording.
They be opening up the door sometime, all kinds of
untinted windows, no tent on the window. They just fucking in traffic.
Right. Yep.
So combine Bang Bus with Uber. That was gonna be my idea. Where, like, if you and a girl wanted to get down, but you didn't even want to get a hotel because you got somewhere else to be, but you want space to fuck on the way to where you're going. You called the Bang Bus app, and then then y'all can. But the issue that I couldn't quite nail down was how to sanitize between riders and the turnover and frequency. And I'm gonna work on the business model. I'm gonna circle back to y'all with them.
I know how you do that. You get it to do. You know how now they have them portable toilets that self-clean. So that section would be like almost like a self-cleaning section where when people get out and shut the door, that shit start up like a washing machine. It'd be like, now you hear.
LB said plastic slip covers. You just yanked the one off and just go on to the next one.
And go on to the next
one.
Not the fuck up, LB.
like the doctor's office. They just roll that piece of paper and go and be like, next.
Yes, the butcher paper.
Only people would do it, and you would only have to operate mostly at night anyway. Like when the clubs get out, it's gonna be the motherfucking surcharge. It's gonna be obese,
and you do it by the hour too. We don't do 15, 30. No, we go by the hour. If you get this bitch, you got it for a whole hour. Make it worth our time.
I saw you just went to the MTV Movie and TV Awards, man. How was it out there?
It was fine. I'm just old enough to not recognize everybody that's being honored. Like,
well, you ain't as bad as me. Oh no, I don't remember nobody's name.
I don't watch enough reality shows to know everybody, because we were there for the Daily Show for the unscripted part. Of course, I know all the movie folks, but the Daily Show was with all the reality stuff. So I knew Tammy Roman, I knew Paris Hilton. I know the host was from The Bachelorette. Found out later her name ain't Rachel. Rachel from The Bachelorette was the one that interviewed me on the red carpet. And I didn't realize that was the Rachel from, like, it was just one of those, nigga, where I know you from type of things for me.
I'm definitely old enough now. I'm just referring to them as like the babies and the kids, because I saw that today. This is the oldest I ever felt. The XXL Hip Hop Magazine, the XXL freshman class 2022 was announced, and I saw the cover. I don't know none of these niggas, not one.
Oh no,
I've never felt this before. I like it. They could all be waiting outside my house, and I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
I'm glad somebody does, but it ain't me.
At the bottom, they put their names, and I think I've recognized one name. So they got Baby Tron, Cochise, Saucy Santana, which is a name I only recognize from people trying to cancel them.
I didn't even know Saucy Santana was a rapper. I thought Saucy Santana was some fashionable TikToker who was always dancing and shit. People always retweeting him. I've seen him for a year on my timeline. Never knew not man, lyric, nothing syllable of his music.
That's how I found. I was like, oh, go ahead, TikToker. That's all I knew.
Happy for him, but I just didn't know. I'm 43. I'm not fucking supposed to know.
Babyface Ray sound like the name of a barbecue sauce.
It does. A barbecue joint.
Ken the Man, Safago, Big Scar, Big 30, KC, Dochi, Cali, and Nardo Wick. Yeah, man. I'm old. I give up.
What I would love to do is go back and look at like the last 4 or 5 freshman club covers and see how many of those I know now, and if they broke through. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, because it trickled down to me eventually.
Rap is just such a vicious game, and then I low key, like, in a way, I feel bad for young rap music fans now, because we had rap that gave us hope. So much so that when a rapper died, it was such an uncommon thing at the time that the whole industry would stop and man, it's sad, and oh my God, and just what do we do? Where do we go from here? You'd have a symposium, all the nigga rappers would come together and do a Stop the Violence song. There would be all of this process to it, where now, if you're a fan of rap music, your favorite rapper could be dead before their first album come out. Where you gonna get your hope from? If the person that's the horse you bet on to cheer you up.
And then they be so young.
Yep.
And then they don't make it out.
I was thinking the other day, man, you know who we miss in the game is Louis Farrakhan. Like, Louis Farrakhan used to come and squash people beefs. Like, remember when like rappers would get it would like almost stop Ice Cube from killing Common. Let's sit down and have a summit. And he would sit down with them and basically be like, you get it, right? You cool? Are you cool? Y'all ain't gonna kill each other? Cool. We don't have that anymore. There's no central figure we could even do that with.
Who could rappers sit down with today? who could go on Arsenio and put up the red and blue Crip and Blood memes and tie the bandanas together?
We don't have that.
We don't have that, not no more.
Nah, because you almost gotta be in a quasi political lane, but enough that people still respect you.
Right.
And right now it's like Dr. Umar ain't gonna get it. Tariq Nasheed ain't gonna get it. I don't think enough. It's not enough of a collective respect for them.
The best we have right now, I would say, is Jay Prince. But Jay isn't a media figure himself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's the only one that's tried between between Kanye and whoever the fuck, and then Drake and Pusha. So maybe him. I mean, the Breakfast Club.
Someone said Obama, but I feel y'all on like people respect, but Obama don't have enough street. Like Farrakhan got a little street to him. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think they respect Killer Mike. I like Killer Mike. Sweet Feet Jay-Z. I don't think Jay would sit down with anybody. I think Jay is too corporate.
Yeah,
to
Jay
be squashing. Not like in a public fashion. Like Jay might put you niggas in a group chat and be like, "Hey, stop."
Right. Yeah.
FaceTime.
Yeah. He's with the NFL ending racism. So he doesn't have time.
You know what? Racism is over. I checked the other day. I was outside, some police was about to pull me over, and then they just said, Jay-Z in the NFL. And they just kept moving.
Cool. There you go.
Man, speaking of which, man, I know you follow sports. Have you heard about our local Charlotte Hornet that just got caught with 3 pounds of weed?
No,
Montrez Harrell.
He was trafficking. This nigga he had weed in the tires and the floorboard. At this point, 3 pounds of weed is personal use.
He was in Kentucky. He was in a Honda Pilot or something like that. And they said they pulled him over for driving too close to the car in front of him.
That's petty, but
somebody knew who he was.
See, I have a theory. I think he may be trafficking and somebody snitching. Cause that pullover don't sound right. That's what they say when someone snitches. They be like, "Oh, we pulled him over for making an illegal left turn." It's like you knew what the car. I guarantee you knew who was driving. It feel like somebody was snitching. If he was trafficking, I don't know if he was, but if he was, he need to check his organization.
3 pounds. The police didn't even take a picture of the dope and put it on the table. And you know the police love taking pictures with the dope.
They do love, yeah.
It ain't shit. That is petty, but that also means it's stupid and it's on him.
Yeah.
For transporting 3 pounds. You have 3 pounds. Let me Google this nigga's salary real quick. Like you cannot do that when you make that type of money. I'm looking at a picture
of 2 pounds, and it's not that it's like 2 Ziploc bags. It's 2 pounds up here in this corner right here. So that's not that like 3 Ziploc bags.
Yeah, he's in the second year of a $18 million deal. It's on a 2-year deal. He's about to be a free agent coming up this season. So you have $18 million and you have 3 pounds of weed. Mm-hmm. That's just
that's
man.
Chump change.
Nigga, go pick up my weed for me. I'll be at the house.
Yeah, that's Costco. Like that he don't want to make 3 trips.
There's no way he goes to prison though. They'll put him on some super duper probation and make him a poster boy for reform and all of that shit.
We also got to figure out like
United Way commercials and shit.
We got to figure out what we mean by legalizing the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we decriminalizing it, we legalizing it, but then we like up to a point. And it's like, well, I mean, if I want to like get my weed wholesale, what's the like we legalize Coca-Cola. You can't pull me over and be like, no, this nigga had 2 liters of Coca-Cola. That's different than 20 ounces. You know,
now the Coca-Cola used to have Coke in it like it used to. That'd be a whole nother story. But we talking about just regular soda.
But see, what I think is going to happen though, when you look at, and we tried to pitch this story. I tried to pitch the story for Daily Show, but the shit was too sad. Wasn't no jokes in it. Per capita, I don't know if it still is now, but like 3-4 years ago when I pitched it, it was a true stat that per capita, Wisconsin locks up more black people than any other race. The percentage of their prison population is blacker than any other states. So then as they started passing all of these reform laws, which meant fewer people going to jail, the prison started suing the state, basically saying, nigga, you promised us tenants and we ain't got no tenants. So y'all need to go out there and get to arresting so we can get our money. Like you said, when we built this prison, you promised us 90% capacity. Now you passing these laws, letting these niggas go free. I need you to go collect some niggas and bring them in here so I can get my money.
Off of bodies.
Right.
Ding, ding. So if we know that to be the fiscal model for prisons, then making weed illegal. Making weed legal is bad for business. Yep. Number one. Number two, it puts them in a position where now anything that is still illegal, oh, you motherfuckers is getting all the time. All of that you was facing 10 years for crack and you get 3 years. Nah, dog, you getting the whole 10 now.
Right.
So I think there's going to be like a counter to that. I just think the states that really profit off black bodies are not in a rush to make weed legal.
Yeah.
I just don't think that. And
that's the reason that, like, because you make points like this all the time, that's the reason that your joke turns into like a movie.
A meme.
Like it become like a civil rights leader with snacks, because it's this, like, you know, Roy, you're funny, but you're not always joking. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times you make great observations and you talk about serious shit, which is one of the reasons I fuck with you, you know? So I think that's a great point that you just made. Also, I like to bring up this segment is sponsored. It's sponsored by Scottie Pippen Digits. Okay. Scottie Pippen Digits, the drink for when you absolutely gotta let a motherfucker know they got you fucked up. Fuck you.
Does Future drink it?
Probably do. Roy, what you got? What's next for you in the Juneteenth civil rights movement? Because Juneteenth is coming up. Are you planning on doing any marches? I know Dr. Umar is coming to my city this Saturday. But are you planning on going anywhere?
It is too hot for that shit.
Ain't it though?
It's also Father's Day. I'm a run with the boy and do some dad shit in the afternoon on that Sunday. But Monday, most of New York City seems to have it off. I know it's not like a national holiday, but I know it'll be something going on pretty black in Brooklyn that I'll probably go to. But I think Sunday I'm gonna just do some dad shit, keep it low key.
You a socks and ties guy? Like you get offended by the socks and ties as a Father's Day gift, or like how you feel about that?
I don't care.
I sound like you done already gave up.
I'm gonna just buy what the fuck I want. Here's
my thing, though. I kind of want, like, when you talk to men about Father's Day gifts, they sound so defeated. There's no, like my mom is such a nice, sweet woman, but like if I ask her what you want for Mother's Day, she have an idea. Cause she's expecting
got a list. She got a Amazon wish list.
This year she wanted a gift certificate to the yoga studio she goes to. Okay, Mom, I'm logging in. I've got you. Here you go. Here's your email. You ask her, brother, hey man, so what you into? Man, I just wanna, if I could just get a day to myself. Like, damn.
That's all I want, bro. Like, I want to stay up till 4 a.m. and play my PlayStation with my headset on, because you won't let me play it around the boy. So I have to wait till he's asleep to play my own goddamn PlayStation. And that's fine. And I'm not complaining. Like, you know, my son, you know, the great co-parenting relationship, or whatever positive phrase I'm supposed to insert right there. It's fine. But I just can't think of anything I want. And to me, the issue is that 8 times out of 10, motherfuckers ain't giving you a gift for you. They're giving you a gift for them, because your happiness feeds whatever it is they need to feel validated, because they're void of something. So you have to get something that you want, because if you don't really want it, then I'm not going to get that's the subconscious shit. So when you say I don't really want nothing, it fucks them up, because that's the only love language they understand, and they don't care to try and learn another way of getting at you, or understanding that space might just be the gift, my nigga.
I might just want to be alone and sleep.
And it's nothing personal.
I have a theory too, that as black men, a lot of us just didn't plan for this part of life. Like we, it's survival mode for so long, where it's like, you know, like I still remember my dad when I was coming up as a kid telling me, like, listen, I got one job. I gotta keep you alive. You get to 21, the odds of you being in 3 different places is dead. He's like, you either in the cemetery, you can contract HIV, or you be in prison. I gotta keep you out of all 3 of those. That's my job. So when I made it 21, I was like, shit, what's the next level? Yes. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't
prepare for this.
And then also, Father's Day wasn't really a thing in my house. You know, my dad was in and out, so Father's Day wasn't no big. Like my mama never pulled me to the side. What are we gonna surprise your daddy? What are we gonna, Like we never did no shit like that. It was just, hey nigga, some food. Now you want some food? Thank you, bitch. And he'd storm out the house, and they'd argue, and that'd be that. So I like she texted me this year. She was like, you know, what do you want Henry to get you for Father's Day? And I replied with this ridiculous fucking end table. It's so stupid, and it's so but it's what I want for my office. And I also know that it like would just like it's the type of thing, if you had it in your house, a woman wouldn't fuck you.
What is that, Star Wars?
Like, if you here it is. Type in Wrigley Field light up table.
Okay, Wrigley. All right, Wrigley Field.
Just Wrigley Field light up table, and what it is, it's like a diorama. It's a baseball field embedded in a
I'm about to pull it up,
table, and it really lights up. That's the part. It's just a little baseball stadium inside of a glass top table. And that's really cool to me. There it is. I like fucking baseball. So yeah, I want to look at a fucking baseball field, because baseball keeps me calm, and baseball teaches you that failure, how to recover from failure repeatedly.
Maybe that's the problem.
That's what I want.
As dudes, we so worried about how we look. We not even asking for what's gonna make us happy. So we getting socks and drawers every year, when really, you know, daddy want 2 lightsabers that light up. What's wrong with that? Come on.
Look at Think Pretty in the chat. She already said the coochie's drying up already. The moment I said light up baseball table.
But here's the secret. There's a secret. It's Father's Day. So like that means you don't already been up in there. So it's like, this is a mistake you made. Okay. Don't look at me. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be in my office. I'm gonna put it in my office.
I love it, dog. It looks dope, bro. Honestly,
it's ridiculous, but it's what I want. I don't want no fucking tie. I get ties for free at work. Comedy Central pay for all my suits.
Like ties and suits.
I need a tie for
ties and suits. Ties and socks and shit is just basically like, get your ass back to work. Like that's all it is. That's what that gives me.
Or go find some work.
Yeah, here's some shit for you to get a job. Here's some shit to help your ass get a job. Like, damn.
Yeah, but I'm very difficult to buy for though. Like I'm one of them people. I don't really share a lot of the shit that make me happy, because I don't know you yet, and I don't want you in on it, or it's something that you don't rock with. Right. So I just rather you not. I don't really wear a lot of jewelry. I pretty much wear the same 2 cologne scents for the last fucking 10 years. Like I got my 4 or 5 shoes I like. I just buy them over and over until they discontinue that model, and then I get like, it's not a lot you can do other than just fucking electronics and table. Let me just show you this off camera. Like, nigga, this is my office. Like, look at all this just gadgets and shit.
I like that.
Like, what woman knows the exact cord to buy for the adapter that goes to the fucking mainframe of you just don't know. So just get me a Best Buy gift card, but you hate buying gift cards because you think it's insincere instead of just fucking believing me when I said that I wanted a fucking. I'm sorry.
That's true. That right there, that's the goddamn truth.
I love gift cards.
That's a Scottie Pippen digits. The goddamn truth moment right there.
Yeah, it's like, you want the truth, I tell you the truth. You tell me I'm a liar.
You know what I mean? If I tell you I just want the complete collection of the Booty Talk DVDs, just get them for me and don't judge me, okay? You married me. You had a child with me. This is my day. Let me have my day.
And fuck whoever in the chat say I still wear Cool Water. Fuck you, Corey.
You did say the high school colognes, and that is definitely in every black man's high school cologne.
Curve and shit.
It was only so much, man. Well, look, man, I know you said you had 30 minutes, and thank you for coming through, bro. Always rooting for you. Love your work on the Daily Show.
Man, appreciate you, man. Can't wait to see you when you get back up to New York.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You and Bomani start cooking again, man. It was really dope to see you on that set.
Thank you for coming on that show too, bro. Because like that's big. You know what I mean? Like getting a good guest. I knew you was gonna be great. And I knew my man Nick Wright would be great because y'all come on Bo's podcast sometimes. So that rapport to me is more important than even getting the, like, you could have motherfucking LeBron James come through, but if he ain't gonna kick it, what's the point? Like, I knew you would come and kick it, and you was great, bro. So thank you.
Next time I'm gonna come buzz, third time shrooms. So just keep bringing me back.
All right, I got you. I got you, brother. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, that's Roywood Jr. Thanks for Dan for coming through, man. We got a lot of news and shit to cover too. You know, we're not just gonna leave you with 30 minutes and dip on you. It would be funny to be like, well, that's it, niggas. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
My job is done. I brought y'all Roywood Jr. It's a big get for us. Let's talk about the news. Lizzo switches out the word spaz in her new song Girls, following backlash and ableism claims. Now, spaz is one that I didn't know people were taking offense to, but
yeah, I don't know what happened.
At the same time, people, you know, there's someone out there that's gonna take offense, you know.
Yes, it is, and you have to be determined on, not trying to find out how much you care as the person that produced the thing or said the thing, because there are some things you go, oh, okay, then there's some things you might go, I'm not gonna change it.
Yeah, it's that thing where like people are sleeping on this Kendrick Lamar album. It's kind of sad because it's really an album a lot of people need to hear at this time, but they're so conditioned to treat every product like it's a book report that you grade from A to the F and how much you agree with it or whatnot. But one thing we said was you can't please everybody. And this is one of those things where I think it's not a bad impulse. I don't think it's a bad thing she did. But she had a lyric that said, "Hold my bag, bitch, hold my bag. Do you see this do you see this shit? I'm a spaz. I'm about to knock somebody out. Yo, we're my best friend. She the only one I know. Talk me off the deep end." So those are the original words to the track. But following this airway play, people began speaking out against the song, claiming it included ableist language in the word spaz. Hey, Lizzo, my disability, cerebral palsy, is literally classified as spastic diplegia, where spasticity refers to unending painful tightness in my legs. Your new song makes me pretty angry and sad. Spaz doesn't mean freaked out or crazy. It's an ableist slur. It's 2022. Do better. Read one Twitter user. Hey, Lizzo, please remove the word spaz from your new song because it's a slur and really offensive to the disabled community from a disappointed fan, said another Twitter user. So she put on, she went and basically re-recorded the song. She says, "It's been brought to my attention that there's a harmful word in my new song, Girls. Let me make one thing clear. I never want to promote derogatory language. As a fat black woman in America, I've had many hurtful words used against me, so I understand the power words can have, whether intentionally or in my case, unintentionally. I'm proud to say there's a new version of Girls with a lyric change. This is the result of me listening and taking action as an influential artist. I'm dedicated to being part of the change I've been waiting to see in the world. Hugs and kisses, Lizzo." Once again, I don't think it's like a bad thing she did. I don't think that makes her a bad person. I don't think she got canceled or I don't feel like that's what happened. But I do wonder what's the limits of shit like this.
Correct.
To me, a lot of times people like this are looking for acknowledgement because the way that we consume media is so myopic now. It's about us, and you need to consider me and everything that you do, the jokes you make, the shit you write, the music the lyrics you have. And on some level, a lot of words are quote unquote hurtful to people. You know, someone could be like, "I don't like that you said bitch in those lyrics." And then you just have to pick your place.
That's what I said. Yep. Because it's gonna be some things you go, "Oh, okay, I don't mind doing it." Then there's gonna be some things where you just gonna have to stand your ground, but like, well, your feelings just gonna have to be hurt.
Yeah, and the thing for me is, I think it's dope that she wanted to change it, and I think people that are against her changing it are probably missing it's her decision, so you should respect that.
Correct.
The thing is, I don't think this ends with this, and maybe it's just 43 years on this earth. You see certain patterns.
They're gonna keep pushing.
I believe there's a level of acknowledgement that a certain type of person on the internet wants. And once they get that acknowledgement, it's not enough. And once they know you'll do something, they'll never let up. You know, and it just really depends on the group. Lizzo is the same person that when she said, you know, we've seen her crying. We've seen her really distraught over just people's comments on the internet. Even as she talks about being strong and body positive, certain comments get to her and then she's crying on the internet, which never really seems to make people stop. It seems to make people go harder. And we typically think of just the bad people that do that shit. Like, yeah, they're bad people, but sometimes even the good people do that shit where it's like, you know, at some level you have to understand you're putting work out into the world and people are going to judge it.
Yes.
And you're not always going to say the thing that's perfect for everybody. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes, because my prediction is that she will now become, any other time she doesn't go and change a song or she doesn't change a lyric for somebody else's point of view, she's going to become insensitive to that group in a lot of people's eyes. And it's kind of like the way people treat Kendrick Lamar, where they heap a bunch of shit on Kendrick that they don't heap on other artists because they feel like he's supposed to be a savior and special and different.
Which he never asked for, never, you know.
Well, even if he did, it's music. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't have to give any somebody could be like, I'm the pimp of the year. It doesn't mean I have to like, it's like, that's a song. I don't have to. But the thing is, Kendrick tries, so then we hold it against him that he tries, because like, oh, you try and sometimes you fall short. That's worse than Future. That's worse than
the people that
you know,
don't give a shit.
Snoop Dogg and all the people that I grew up worshiping. That's worse than them, because at least they never tried. You actually tried and fell short. You're a worse person than them. So even if I go, I would have, like, on a scale of 1 to 10 with how much I agree with you, I give Kendrick an 8 out of 10 and I give Future a 0 out of 10. But Kendrick is the guy I'm mad at, and Future is fine with me because he never tried. And I wonder if Lizzo's going to experience that after this, as she is the one who her albums have to go through a check on every level.
They're going to be combing every phrase, every syllable. Like that's what they're going to do. Like I said, people pick and choose type of things, and it's one of those things where I understand, and it's her choice, but once you set this precedent, everything that you do from now on, they're going to expect you to change it the second they bring it up.
Yeah,
they're never satisfied,
because you know, like, there's people that still use the word lame or something like that. Like, this person is a lame, this thing is lame or whatever. And it's still generally expected. I'm accepted. I mean, people, it's in mainstream songs all the time. Comedians use it all the time. And that one never got, no pun intended, it never got off the ground as far as like a thing to like, people tried to make that like, we're going to erase this word, and it just never worked out. But it does give people a place to be angry and to go, well, now you're a bad person because you didn't take that out of your language, or you must be doing, I'm gonna assume the worst, you're doing like that. So I and I think there's the optics of this black woman, there's like, and this fan base of mostly white people that are trying to find ways to police her, because like I said, when she said she did it a week cleanse or something and she was feeling great, and people were like, how dare you are fat phobic, you are talking about diet culture and stuff. And she was like, I just like to feel good, and I thought the cleanse helped me feel better, it cleared my skin up, and and people was like, no, you can't. And I'm like, it works both ways. It's her body when you're calling her fat and ugly and shit, and it's her body when she's saying, I would like to do a cleanse. It's all still her autonomy. You can't dishonor that. So, but it bothered her, and it makes me think about, I this is my pet thing on the show. Her, Summer Walker, Chloe Bailey, like these young black women that are constantly on Instagram and whatnot, and then they get hurt by the response to it. It's just something I'm always keeping an eye on, because I feel like they're on the front lines, and that's what's going to happen to all of us eventually.
Yes. And I think that for a lot of people, they make the assumption that it's never going to happen to them. And so since it's never going to happen to you, you don't care about the consequences or the repercussions of just saying the most nastiest, foul, and rude things to people just because you can. Because as far as you're concerned, you're just one in a number. But for that person, nobody is designed. I would continue to say about this: nobody is designed to get hundreds and thousands of replies of hate you, fuck you, hope you get raped, and all that. Nobody, no mind can handle that.
And it's like we're looking for the worst way to take everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like and it depends on if we like you or not. Because like when Beyonce came out with Savage, nobody was gonna listen to somebody that would have said, well, this is a slur that white people use against indigenous people in America, so therefore she shouldn't have a song named this. She needs to go back, re-record the song, and da-da-da-da. We were like, no, it's slang. We know what it means. She's not talking about that. Calm down. That's how people would have responded, because we like Beyonce in a way that we don't always like other people. And I for the record, people would have said that about this, but Lizzo changed it, which actually was like Streisand effect. It actually drew more attention to those comments than would have been drawn to those comments if she hadn't said anything.
Correct.
Even if she would have just changed the song without saying anything,
right,
it wouldn't have drawn as much attention. But I don't know if it feels a little bit like I won't say feel it. I bet and I wonder if this has the opposite effect than what she thinks. Like this now makes her a new pinata to people, as opposed to, oh, you did, what a cool thing you did. And what that's so nice and honorable of you. Cool. I think it goes in a short period of time. Like I within a month, we'll be talking about this idea again, where somebody's like, fuck Lizzo. She had this lyric in her other song and she didn't change that. Clearly she hates blank people. I wouldn't be shocked. So
nope, and we will see. And it's one of those things where people go, well, Lizzo did it, and you're gonna have another artist be like, I'm not her. Right. She can do it to her song or whatever, but that does not mean I have to.
Right. But yeah, good for her, you know. And like I said, that's dope. Man, let me tell you how good fucking the internet algorithm is. Okay, these cookies.
What's up?
On this next article, look at the ad. MLB shop for Roy Wood Jr.'s table.
And on top of it was like, we think you want this.
That's why I don't block cookies. Let them see everything. Okay.
Oh, let the cookies see everything.
That's how I always end up with like Velma cosplay t-shirts on my Facebook page. Okay. Because I'm not gonna lie about who I am. That's what I want for Father's Day. Amber Heard denies she's been cut from Aquaman 2. Actress rebrands rumors insensitive and insane hours after she repeated defamatory claims on Today's Show that Johnny Depp beat her. Well, this is the thing. There's this rumor going that she's getting cut from Aquaman 2 and they're going to reshoot it with a new actress. I don't know how true it is, but it does feel like a broad overreaction to the trial, because like she did win the trial in the UK. Like, it's not like when she won the trial in the UK, people was like, well, then that means Johnny Depp will never work again. They was booking him and he was out touring and hanging out with guitars and shit. I don't know. It feels weird. I don't like, I guess I have no, it feels weird if that's true that they're going to cut her out of Aquaman 2.
Yeah, and the studio hasn't said anything. So, and they've already shot things with her in it. So,
yeah. And this is another example of a rumor being started, being accepted as true about this woman, and I wonder where it comes from. Because this is not the first time this rumor's been out there. It's been going the whole trial. Now she's been cut out of the movie. She's been cut out of the movie. And then you have her responding to it going, no, I haven't. And then it makes her seem like, oh, this bitch, you know, where it's like, well, was this ever true? Where did this information come from? And why is it circulated and accepted as fact? Because I saw it reported in news outlets before she refuted it. Yeah, so it's weird. Let's see. Tyler Perry talking about the Will Smith slap. Remember, he was there. He said he was de-escalating, not comforting Will Smith.
I can see that.
Yeah, I figured it was that. I think people are just so, I don't know.
Right.
People are so fucking angsty about that situation that they want to make everyone the worst actor in the case. And so it had to be like, fuck all them people that came down there. we didn't know what was going on. We didn't have even half the story. We had what we saw in a brief snippet on TV, and some of that shit wasn't even aired on TV. We just saw like a camera that when they went to commercial or whatever. It turns out he was doing a interview with Gayle King, and he said there's a difference between comforting and de-escalating. He said my only problem with this question is basically if I talk about it, it becomes overshadowing of everything else we just talked about. That will be the headline for sure. She asked him if he would take Will Smith's name off of the soundstage at Tyler Perry Studios, which he named after the 12 stages after someone he admires. He said, and she made a joke. We can make another headline. I'm pregnant with Tyler's child. That's the headline. He laughed and then continued. I was there close up. I left early to go and check on Chris because it was wrong in no uncertain terms, and I made sure I said that to Will. He said Smith, who had been banned from the Oscar ceremonies for 10 years, was devastated. He couldn't believe what happened. He couldn't believe he did it. And I'm looking at this man in his eyes going, what are you doing? This is your night. And to get all this way to winning an Oscar, it was one of the crowning moments of his career that he wanted so desperately. I think he's very much in reflection, trying to figure out what happened. He alluded to a section of Will Smith's recent memoir, Will, where he said about the actor not being able to protect his mother at 8 years old. I know that feeling, and if that trauma is not dealt with right away, as you get older, it will show up in the most inappropriate and horrible times. And he said being friends with both of them in this situation was very difficult. Chris Rock was a pure champion the way he handled it, but something happened that was extremely painful for Smith as well. It's no excuse. He was completely wrong, but something triggered that was so out of everything he is. I feel very uncomfortable. I don't feel it's my story to tell. The thing that I think is interesting about this, because I agree with pretty much everything he said. He was there. He talked to Will Smith after he did it. And he talks about Will Smith not even being able to believe he did that, being out of control. One of my biggest fears is being out of control. So I can relate to that level of like, I would hate to do some shit, look back and be like, I was out of my fucking mind for a second. I don't know what happened there.
Correct.
But for all the people that have spent the past few months spinning this into, it's about protecting Black women, it's about protecting his wife, it's about this. That's not the mindset of a person that's about protecting somebody. That's not because like, for example, if somebody did something to Karen and we're out in public and I fucking punch that dude in the face, or that, whatever, I do what I feel like I need to do to protect my wife in that moment. I'm not gonna be sitting there like, oh, I was out of control. I don't know what. I'll be like, yeah, I did it. Yes. I know I'm not wondering what happened. That person was wrong. They did something to my wife, and I harmed them in a way that I felt was reciprocal to what they tried to do. Boom, end of discussion. This feels like a person that was out of control and had like a moment where they were triggered and did something they regret. And like, unless we hear different, I'll put it this way. Maybe he'll come out and surprise us and tell us, because really only he can say. But man, I'd be surprised if it's something different than that. It really seemed like he lost it for a minute.
And it's also the thing is, like you say, most people just got snapshots of the what was presented on TV. Because the bulk of the general public was not there.
Yeah.
So we don't know who talked to who reached out to who said what to who. We don't know that. And so I think for a lot of people, because, and I understand, because this is such a touchy and emotional topic for a lot of people, people have drawn hard lines in the sand, and they're not willing to move or give regardless of the facts that may come out or the things that are put in front of them. So it's one of those things where no matter what he said or do, it's not going to change people's mind if they have quote unquote picked a camp.
Yeah. Alabama police shoot and kill a suspicious man outside of elementary school.
Oh, what was he doing?
On Thursday morning, police officers responded to a principal phone call at Walnut Park Elementary, where it was reported a man was outside the school, pulling on the door aggressively numerous times. I got a call from the principal, who was really distraught. I really couldn't make out what was happening, but I knew something was pretty bad at the time. The school held 34 children that were part of a summer literacy camp. Once the police arrived, there was a physical dispute that involved gunfire, resulting in the suspect being shot and killed. There's no official word on whether the suspect was armed. Let me tell you something. First of all, the way police report shit involved gunfire, officer involved shooting, sound like they shot the dude. If he was armed, they almost always want to tell you that shit up front. Like, he was armed, he shot at us, because they can't wait to justify the shit. And obviously, whatever they were doing at the school, if they weren't supposed to be there, it's probably going to be a bad story. But I'll be keeping an eye to see what else happened with this story, and, you know, like who got shot and what that person was doing there, you know? Because, I mean, it's getting bad now, man. If you just a regular pedophile showing up at these schools, you might get shot. Okay? We assuming everybody got some heat. Okay? I'm not saying you gotta have sympathy for these pedophiles on no JL Van shit, but I'm just saying, even if you just a regular creep, we got to shoot first, ask questions later to protect these kids, because we done let everybody have a gun. You know, and I don't care how many petitions Shonda Rhimes and them sign. Okay, it's not the TV shows that's making people kill each other. We the unfettered access to guns
is the problem.
Seems to be the big issue. There's like a bipartisan agreement on some shit with some guns, but it's not firm enough to really report on yet.
We will see. I don't believe anything until it hits Joe Biden's desk. Until Joe Biden signs it in the law, y'all just talking.
Yeah, and it's not going to be enough for our side anyway, because, you know, obviously. But yeah, it's not going to be enough for our side, but we got to do something. Anything's better than what we're doing now, which is nothing and making things worse. This has nothing to do with an article, but it's something I was thinking about. I listened to this podcast that was reviewing Kendrick Lamar's album. And y'all know my policy on the show. I normally don't listen to anybody's reviews or recaps of anything ever, because it's just, when we do stuff, I want it to be our opinions. I don't want to be sharking nobody's opinions. I don't want to be accused of taking nobody's opinions, all that stuff, you know. And I think creating the recap, creating the review is art in itself.
It is.
And it rewards people that take time and all this other stuff. But it was a podcast with some people that I know, and they were reviewing it, and I was like, I'll check them out. I've listened to their show before. And I hated the review. I hated it. And I don't know if other people feel this. I don't know if you feel this way. I don't even know if you read reviews or listen to a lot, but I think it's an age thing. I think it's an age thing. And, maybe, but it feels like an age thing, because our generation, Gen X, is your feelings are not the point,
right?
So many times to our detriment. You know, we hold things aside about things.
Correct.
But that's not always bad. Like, there's something positive in being able to put your feelings aside and do what needs to be done that doesn't get enough credit. Like, we've gone so far the other way to where it
has to be a balance. It's time to get emotions out, yes, but it's time to be like, fuck your feelings. We got to get bullshit done. And not trying to be funny, for me, when it comes to voting, fuck your feelings. Get your motherfucking ass out there and vote. Like, in that situation, I don't give a goddamn how you feel. Do you want the shit or not?
Like, there's something to just life where it's okay. Like, being strong is not always about how much abuse you could take or how bad. Like, sometimes being strong is just helpful.
Agreed.
To you and others. You know, like, it's like when you got something heavy to get from the car to the inside of the house. I'm sure Karen's glad I'm here. You know what I mean? And I don't go, look at you, assuming I'll always be able to carry this Hello Fresh. Well, I want more gratitude. Like, it's just like, no, nigga, it's my job. I like to be helpful and useful. I like to be the one that can carry the heavy shit in the house. And when there's other things in the house, you contribute in different ways, and that's fine. Like, that's good. It's symbiotic. It's needed. We're both. It's not one-sided. We're both doing labor, quote unquote.
Yes,
as these people like to measure their relationships in labor and all this stuff, right? So all that stuff made me think, like, okay, maybe my issue, because I was trying to be like, why the fuck do I always end up this way when I listen to shit like this? Or I read somebody's fucking music review. It's always annoying to me. It's not upsetting. I don't get, it's just annoying where you're like, damn, nigga, like, this what you took from this? And I realized, not the demagogue, but and I'm not even sure it's the right phrase, the terms of generation, but it feels like a real millennial thing to be like, my feelings are the key to this story that is this review of this product or this recap. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they start from their feelings. And what I compared it to is, it feels like the way millennial people and younger review media is so personal. It's like when you look up a recipe online and it starts with a story.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
And you're like, bitch, I don't care about your fucking I don't care about your dog. I don't care you went fishing. I don't care it reminded you of the summer you went out with your dad. Give me the goddamn recipe.
Like, we grew up with gatekeepers, and that sucks, because that means a lot of people get left out of things they could do. But we also grew up because of gatekeepers with standards, right? News articles needed a who, what, when, where, why.
Yeah.
It needed your opinion. You couldn't just aggravate some shit from Twitter, call it outrage, put it on a website somewhere and be like, I wrote a news article today.
And don't fact check that shit.
Right. Like, you needed to verify, and not that there's no one doing this work, but just it's obviously because there's less gatekeeping, more competition, and less people that have a rigid skill set that pertains to whatever they do, because now everybody can do everything, even though everybody got imposter syndrome. It's interesting to see like what this effect is having, and it's like the loss of expertise, but also the loss of like format, and most importantly, like, I didn't come for you.
Right.
It's like you used to have a blog or a diary or a journal, and
that
was
out.
where you put what you thought about everything and how it related back to you. But if I'm looking in the New Yorker, I don't want to see your review of an album and you talking about when I was 16. I'm like, I don't care.
Care.
What about this album? And how? What are the, like, you're reviewing the album. You're not relaying your judgment of like what kind of moral person you are. Because, like with the Kendrick reviews, what I found to be interesting is it's kind of like the Lizzo thing, because he has impressed people in the past with his comparative morality to the rest of the industry, which to me has always had certain hotep leanings, certain misogynistic leanings, all that stuff. I've just never come down hard on him, because every motherfucking rapper I listen to, including the women, have the same fucking issues.
Correct.
The same issues. It's just, we live in a capitalistic, hypocritical ass society. You're not gonna find an artist that don't embody that.
All right.
And if they do embody that like they don't embody that and they're that clean, more than likely they don't slap. No offense to them.
A lot of times they're not your top selling artists.
Yeah, I'm a bigger fan of No Name than most people, And even I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, she ain't gonna be the top 5 artists on the charts. It's not gonna curdle for her like that, because she don't cook like that. You know what I mean? But it's the way they relate on a personal level. It's like, this person let me down. This person betrayed me. This person hurt me. And I'm like, what?
You don't know
what
them.
Is this level of parasocial attachment? And why is it considered normal and healthy? That's not healthy.
No, it's not. And I put like this, I truly believe that in the age of social media, where everything is about you, it literally extends to everything.
Right.
Anything that happens to you or around you, a life event, other people's event, music, concerts, no matter what you consume or where you're at, you always look at it from your personal perspective.
Right.
And sometimes it does not make sense. To somebody like me. I'm looking like, well, what you're doing doesn't make sense, because you claim these things affect you in this way, but your actions are literally contrary to what you're saying, but you don't really care, because you literally are like, it's about me.
Yeah, it like, I don't I love music. Probably, you know, at least I like a lot of stuff, but I make it a habit when we do like our movie reviews, and because we're critics too, we do reviews. I never start with like, here's this personal part of my life and how this music impacts my life in a way that then makes the artist beholden to me. Like, not to me, you're making a product.
Yes.
And
you're selling a product.
The thing is, what do I think of your product? What were you trying to accomplish? Did you accomplish it? Yay or nay? And then, you know, how do we measure that? You know, but the idea of like, I mean, it's like when someone says, Firestarter. I love Firestarter podcast. But when they do a movie review or something, they talk about how many sleeps is in it.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's always funny to me because I'm like, a sleep isn't a measurable thing.
No, it's not.
You could have stayed up too late last night and you got 4 sleeps in a movie, so you call that movie boring. But like, there's no universal 4 sleeps. Like,
that's not how you measure things.
I take my ass to bed on time and I only go to the movies when I'm awake, so I don't have any sleeps ever doing any movies. So like, but it's funny to me. I never saying it, you know, kind of tongue in cheek, but like, people treat that like that's not like, I felt this way, so everyone must have felt this way, you know, or what? And I think it's just a age thing, man. I don't want to be a dick, but like, I don't care about you. I didn't come here to care about you. I only clicked on this, only hit play because you told me you were doing something. Then you didn't do it really. You kind of half-assed through it and what told me about you and your life and your feelings. What is that? I don't have your life. What about the lyricality? What about, you know, the layered vocals? What about the instrumentation? Like that kind of shit. That used to be important. I don't ever remember reading. I remember when, you know, rap magazines would give shit a double XL, 5 mics or whatever, 3 mics. It was not like it's 3 mics because I was walking down the street when I heard Drake had a new album coming out, and I was literally shaking on the corner of 51st and Hempstead. But to truly understand, I have to take you back to high school, a high school named Degrassi. Like, you have to, like, I don't need that. Just, can I click the recipe? I need a click to review. I need a click to review in every recap, movie review, whatever. Click to review. When are you gonna start actually talking about what the fuck they was talking about?
Right. Because
I shouldn't take me an hour and a half, and 45 minutes is like your history in high school and shit. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know. It just, I realized that's the pattern basically. Because I was like, when did I stop? I used to read reviews when I was in school. And stuff. The Source wrote a review on Aquaman. Let me see what they had to say about it. You know, doesn't mean I have to agree with it or whatever, but let me see what they said. But it was never this shit. You know?
Yeah. And also I think too, and there's nothing wrong with feelings. All we're saying is that your feelings can't be the bulk of the review. Like, you can say, well, I listened to this song, like that's still on topic. Yeah. Not the other shit that's kind of, well, back in college. Well, nigga, this album didn't come when you was in college. This album came out this year. So let's talk about this right here.
I'd even listen. And like I said, I get that it's you. You don't have to take you. I can even get like as I press play, the rhythmic bass took me away to this, that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And it reminded me, like, but you're not even telling me where the artist is from. You're not even telling me what the artist is going through. It's not about you. I didn't come for you. Like, yes, you wrote it, but it's about the media that you're talking about. Like, stop trying to trick me. And someone had brought up, because I made a thread about this, and there were some people that had some really good thoughtful responses in the cut. Because I found out it ain't just me. Because I have been feeling this way for literally years, and I don't fucking listen to people's reviews because of it. And I just like, and
most reviews I don't.
Yeah, I don't like listening to people TV show recasts because it always turn into like a very personal thing. Like
it's something, a lot of them become very angry.
And like I said, it could be a Gen X thing. I don't know. I don't even. And I as much as I love, you know, black people and shit, even when black people review shit and everything got to turn into this black character was in it, and then I lost all objectivity and ability to understand the plot because I feel like the black character has to be a main character from that point on. It's like, I don't even like those reviews, and I am black.
Right, but you go, well, they were a side character, so
yeah, like justice for this black character always ends up sounding like the show should have been now the black character is the main character. It's like, no, that's not how a fucking show comes together. Like just like I love Star Wars. I love this Obi-Wan. I love Reva as a character. Reva got to get her at some point.
Yep.
Because she's a bad guy.
Yeah, she's a bad guy.
But watch this. If something happens that is less than great for that character to end this series, watch how these motherfuckers turn on this series. And just this is the narcissism that I'm like, what is this? Why do you call this review? Why do you call this even consumption at this point? It's some type of weird narcissism where people need to bow to you as a consumer because the customer's always right or some shit.
That's not so.
I hate that shit. It is. I don't know how people aren't annoyed by that. And I'm talking about my own shit here. This is me, a black person, being like, even as a black person, I don't like it. Like, leave me out of it. It's not about that for me. I just wasn't good.
Correct. Yeah. Was it good? Was it bad? And the thing is, like I say, but because you're reviewing it, you are going to get into your feelings. But like I said, there has to be a balance there, if that makes sense. It can't be more of your feelings than the actual content itself. Like that. Like that's where the problem comes in me. Because I'm like you, I do not listen to most people reviews of anything. Because I like most of the stuff that I watch and consume. I do not hate watch nothing. If I don't like it, I don't watch it. That's just me personally. And I used to listen to a lot of reviews, and then I was like, oh, y'all not watching it for the love of this like me. You're watching it out of some form of obligation. And then for a lot of reviews, they began to be very angry and began to be very bitter. So I just stopped listening to a lot of shit because I'm like, oh, you don't like this and you're not happy. So I can't listen to you grump on the shit that I like and love.
Yeah, it just makes me feel like, because I don't think it's everybody, but there's like a certain age group where this is their review. And it's just me. It's me.
Correct.
It's me as fuck. It's me to the 10th power. Where you just like, hey, fam, do your job. You know what I mean? Like,
I clicked play for a reason.
What's happening? You know, if you didn't have this in the title, I wouldn't have hit play. Like, you have a job to do. It's like if we called this episode the review of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and people saw us interview Roy Wood Jr. and then talk about this shit, and then we just ended it like, yeah, it was straight. Like, y'all would be like, what the fuck why you do that to us?
This is not a review.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
And I don't blame you for being angry.
It's just, it's annoying. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not angry. And I
just know it ain't my jam.
Yeah, I want to harp on the fact that I'm not angry because I think I don't even want to make this like a feeling thing of like, and I was so goddamn upset. It was like, no, it's just, it was an epiphany I had. I didn't even know if people could relate to it. It was an epiphany I had today where I was like, oh, you know what? This has been a thing for me for a minute. And I just didn't register.
Right.
But it's like, because I would just started saying like, yeah, I don't really listen to anyone's reviews. And, you know, it wasn't an arrogance thing or a mean thing. It was just like, I don't find them satisfying. And I realized I don't find them satisfying because this what the fuck they be sounding like. Like it's like, it reminds me of 4th grade. Well, nigga, the artist didn't make it for you in 4th grade. You know, this thing where they owe us, and low key, like, I kind of feel like that's the feeling of uneasiness I have around the Lizzo thing. It's not that I think it's a bad thing to care about other people. I think there's a never ending maw. There's a black hole. There's a black hole that is of just negativity and depression and entitlement that is like sucking everything into it. And when you acknowledge it, when you give into it, it doesn't stop there. It sucks you out of you until you're not a person. The thing that is so dope to me about Kendrick's album was that it is a statement on that. It's like, what do you do when you're not perfect, you're not finished, and you need to do your own work, and you've been telling people and people have been saying you're the guy who's gonna fix it all. You're the guy giving me hope. You're the guy who's gonna, and you like, well, guys, the whole time I was doing that, I was fucking my whole life up. I was out here cheating. I was out here doing a bunch of shit. I need therapy. I need to work on myself. I had writer's block for years, blah, blah, blah. And people kind of the same way they did 444. I think a lot of people just missed that. That's a very honest and very important moment that the culture needs that we don't have now. Everyone is faking. Everyone is finished. Everyone is always right or silent. There's no in between. No one expresses these feelings of murkiness, these feelings of like, of hypocrisy and individualism and stuff. Everyone is collectively always on camera. And so we can never be like, actually, I don't know. Actually, I haven't figured this all the way out.
This adulting is some bullshit, and you never get all the answers to it. Don't nobody tell you that. There's no instruction manual. Yeah. You literally just fumble your way through life until the end, honestly, because nobody really knows.
And I'm not here to save you. I'm not here to be accountable to you. You want to know where I am right now? Here's what my album is. This is a progress report on where I am right now.
Yeah.
It's not about you liking it. It's not about pleasing you. I'm about to go back to whatever the fuck I was doing. See y'all, I'm gonna go on tour, whatever. And when I come out with another album, I'll let y'all know. But this is where your boy is right now. And it's not always perfect and doesn't always look good. And I think that's a moment we just aren't gonna get from anybody else right now.
No, because truth be told, and I will continue to say this, nobody wants to hear about, put like this, a lot of people listen to music as a way of escapism. And for some people, that's how they consume music. And for a lot of people, they go, I listen to your shit to get away. We ain't talking about hoes and bitches and all this shit. A lot of people go like, why am I here? Oh, you trying to challenge me, nigga? No. You trying to make me, and that's why people reject this shit. You trying to make me think. You trying to make me be a better person. You trying to do all this shit. And a lot of people will not admit, they just reject that shit. They go, I come here to shake my ass and shit like that. That's why I came here.
So you think people listen to Kendrick and they go, they're upset he's trying to make them think?
Yeah, but Kendrick has always made people think. But at the same time, Kendrick has always had a handful of songs that are like bops, that like blow up, that everybody kind of love. With this album, I don't really hear a song on there that's like it hits the airways and everybody go, that's my jam. If that makes sense.
Like All Right or something.
Right. Yeah. It's always 1 to 2, maybe 3 songs where everybody goes, that's my shit. This album right here don't rock like that. So a lot of people are listening to the album and they go, well, where's that jam? Where's that hit? Where's that thing that I come to Kendrick? Because people come to Kendrick for different things. Some people, everybody don't come to Kendrick for enlightenment and all this shit. They like, I am here because I want another King Kunta. I am here because I want, all right, I am here for that shit. I don't care about you going to therapy, nigga. I don't care about, So I think for some people, and like 444, they reject it because they're like, this is not the Jay-Z that I know. I don't even recognize you as an artist.
But it's interesting because it's the thing that people ask for.
Correct.
That's why I find it interesting, because the critique of his other albums is asking for this. Like if you look at the critique people had of his other albums for Kendrick, it's always been kind of who this nigga think he is. Why does he think he's a savior? Don't he need to get his own shit together? What about his misogyny? What about his internalized homophobia? What about this? What about that? And this is an album of like, yeah, what about it? Here it is. It's an album basically of me telling you about me and the things I'm comfortable sharing with y'all at this point. And it's like, well, we didn't want this. Not like this.
Correct. Because the thing is, I've realized that a lot of people are very fickle. And this is one reason why you have to be secure in who you are and know where you stand on shit. Because the internet will have you all over the fucking place. And so I realized the internet never knows what it wants. And then it gets what it wants exactly the way that they say they want it. And then they reject it because it's not really what you wanted in the first place. Because truthfully, you really don't know what you want.
I think also he's on this album, the thing that resonated with me is that he's talking about those kind of people that are reviewing the album and telling them, hey, I'm not your savior. I'm not comfortable in everything I'm saying. I'm not. I've been as a victim and a victimizer. I'm trying to stop cycles of generational shit that I'm just now diving into that I've never dived into before. And here's where I'm at so far at 30 something years old, which is a time where a lot of us start looking. You even get the luxury to look into those kind of things in your life. And to me, it feels interesting that people took it as a personal betrayal or slight, because what it reminds me of is like, if you've ever had a friend who they're your friend, thick and thin, all that shit, but they start going through something personal, and maybe they go through therapy, maybe they get in a relationship, but they're doing something that is now taking away time from the relationship you and them have, right? But it's something that they're using to improve their life, to think about whatever. They're going to school, whatever it is. So you see them less, but they're improving their life, right? That's the analogy that this album feels like to me, where it's like, oh, he started therapy and he's trying to like work on his responsibility to his family and himself and find balance and shit in the same chaotic world that, hey, and maybe at 43 it feels different because it's like, oh yeah, I've been through that. Everyone's still going through that.
Correct.
But it was treated like, you know, like, oh, this is some bullshit. Whatever. It's like, oh, okay. And you know, it does add to that whole like, and I guarantee it's just like the circles that I see online and I just try to stay out of. But that whole like, niggas can never do nothing right. And it feels a little like that. You know, 444 felt like that, where it was like, here's this guy that I see as really taking a huge leap forward for emotional accountability and stuff, and then like kind of using it as a platform to talk about that with other black men, and people went, nah, I don't want this, he's privileged, or and it was like, oh, there was nothing he could have done. And
people would not be, a lot of people would never admit that to themselves.
That feels like an internalized issue on the listener's part. Correct. that you wouldn't even let the artist express this because you're threatened by what it means. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that someone's taking control of their own narrative and telling you, rather than letting you assume or tell them about themselves, or what they're like, okay, I'm gonna do this work and here's my findings so far. And it's like, no, we liked speculating more than we liked you telling us.
Yes, because and also it's one of those things where you took the power out of our hands. Yeah. You know, a lot of fans feel this entitlement and this obligation to, I want to feel powerful.
Yeah.
You know, when I consume this, you know, I want to feel a certain way. And I think for this particular album right here, it did not allow them to feel certain ways.
Yeah.
And for some people, it allowed them to feel things, because for a lot of people, they listen to this album and say, what does it say about me? And I don't mean that in it's all about me thing, but I'm going, you listen to the album and he's going, y'all got this, rock, leave me. I ain't got it together. I'm trying to figure this shit out. And people going, well, damn, I'm kind of in this situation too. Almost like the rejection of relating to it. Oh, well, damn, I need to go to therapy too. Or I fucked up too. Or I ain't got it all together too. And shit like that. And a lot of self-reflection. And so for a lot of people, like I said, that's the part of life people reject when it requires some form of thought and change.
I think also it's the personalizing of it, right? This is what I mean about the personalizing. When I listened to that album, you know what I thought mostly? This album isn't like for me instructionally.
Correct.
I don't necessarily need to hear what Kendrick's talking about because I'm 43. I've thought about a lot of this shit. I know how I feel about the shit. I understand and respect his growth that he's having on his album and all his albums. And this seems like another place for him to like where he's stretching out, trying to grow in some different areas. Very spiritual, very holistic, all this stuff. But I'm beyond some of these concepts because I've thought about them before and I've come to different conclusions. But I remember this point in my journey where I was thinking about these things. I remember before I read anything, before I really knew anything about transgender people. I didn't know about dead name, how you're supposed to handle pronouns, which honestly does change from person to person. Not, there's an assumption in the academic terms of how people use it, but then when you have colloquial conversations and you hear them amongst people, it doesn't always come off the way that people try to promote it online. Like they need. It's like he said, I'm done with the wrong and the right, the black and the white, right? They want it very like, this is the right way, where it's like, well, that's what you were told was the right way, but that ain't how everybody operates.
Nope.
And it's not like a collective decision, and it varies from person to person. Anyway, the point being, like, I'm kind of beyond those things, but I appreciate it, and I recognize there's a shit ton of people that ain't beyond that needed to hear somebody that they respect and think is cool, that challenge that it like, it's not challenging to me, but it's challenging to them.
Correct.
But if I'm being real, Kendrick ain't never been challenging to me. I wasn't never looking for a rapper to challenge me.
Correct.
I never there was none of these niggas out here that made me be like, oh man, glad he made that song, because I didn't understand. Like, I did have the luxury of going to college. I did have the time to read the books. I do had the time to look for shit online and stuff. So I was never looking for that. So it's interesting how people use that as a cudgel on artists, and especially when there's just a shit ton of artists that don't give a fuck and they get a pass.
No, they do.
They
not.
just do. We just accept them. They're gonna be around. And now it makes last thing I'll say on this. It makes it so obvious in hindsight now why these people complain and talk shit about these artists and their music and their shows and the TV shows, all this stuff, and it never is connected to the actual popularity of the thing. They're so myopic and they care so much about themselves and how much they feel about it that they say dismissive shit, and you look back and you're like, well, you do realize this is one of the most popular people in this game. That, like, are you sure that you're the person that's deciding, like, oh, this person's whack? You know what I mean? It's like why you gotta have Future on the album or Kodak Black on the album or whatever? And you're like, well, those people are gonna exist whether Kendrick's around or not.
Agreed.
They, Triple X Temptation the motherfucker was beasting. Whether our generation was going to give him that pass or not, it didn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
And while my circle of people can be like, we love Tupac, who possibly, was convicted of holding a woman down during sexual assault. While we can love him and talk about how much his potential was and how great he was as an actor, and he was a wonder can of all, we love him and grandfather his ass right on in. XXXTentacion had to go, and these kids was disrespectful and terrible for even listening to him, or seeing him as beyond just the crimes we learned about him. That is a thing that our generation, I think, or people of a certain age, that's a thing that we just grandfathered in and don't even like to look back on how uncomfortable those things are. And we definitely don't, quote unquote, cancel it, because you can't ever take that time back.
Agreed.
Like, you either listen to those songs or you enjoyed those things or you didn't, but you can't undo that you enjoyed them, right?
Right.
So I think that's a big part of it for me, was just like that disconnect there from reality, because you're the one saying Future is terrible because he's a terrible misogynist, but all these rappers have been terrible misogynists since hip-hop was invented, and they're doing fine. We had G-Funk, not G-Funk, we had Dr. Dre Aftermath Halftime, and everybody fucking loved it. And that represents decades of misogyny and fucked up thinking, period, and drug glorification, a bunch of shit, gangster shit, murder, all kinds of shit. And no one holds them to that standard. You know what I mean? So I just found that to be interesting. Total aside, sorry about that.
You're good.
But if you can relate, you know what I'm saying, hold your lighters up. All right, let's move into some other stuff. Hour and a half already. Let's do some let's do some fucking with black people. It would help if I pulled up the fucking with black people music, right? But yeah, let's do some fucking with black people real quick.
Hey, we just fucking with them people because they black. We just fucking with them people because they black. We just fucking with them black people. We just fucking with them blacks. We just fucking with black people. Hey, hey,
That's right. Fuck with black people time. It's time to talk about it. Let's get into it. Novelist James Patterson apologizes for saying that white writers face racism. Oh, that's quick because I had an article for yesterday when he was saying the shit. Crime novelist James Patterson has issued an apology Tuesday for following a prior remark on racism. Speaking to the UK Sunday Times this weekend, Patterson said that white older male writers aren't getting hired for writing gigs in film, theater, TV, or publishing right now, claiming the phenomenon is just another form of racism.
Child, if you don't get out of here. I seen somebody tweeted something and they went through all the people. They was like, nigga, the bulk of these is white dudes. Like, the fuck is this?
Right. Nigga, please. What's that all about? Can you get a job? Yes. Is it harder? Yes. It's even harder for older writers. You don't meet many 52-year-old white males.
And they went, and I seen the tweet. They actually posted the age, and a lot of them was over 50.
He's now taking it back. I apologize for saying white male writers having trouble finding work is a form of racism. I absolutely do not believe that racism is practiced against white writers. Please know that I strongly support a diversity of voices being heard in literature and Hollywood everywhere.
I don't believe you.
I'm sorry. People responded in the comments. I'm sorry you feel the need to be an apologist. Bias against white men is very real. It may be more recent, but it's real nonetheless. Way to bend the pressure. The left has forced their beliefs again. Just write awesome books and stay out of politics and social issues, another suggested. He sold more than 450 million books across 20 or so titles during his 30-year career, most notably the neo-noir book following Detective Alex Cross, later played by actor Morgan Freeman, and Kiss the Girls, and his 2001 sequel, Along Came a Spider. Yeah, I think also Tyler Perry played Alex Cross in the movie. I noticed y'all didn't bring that one up. His first autobiography, James Patterson by James Patterson, Stories of My Life, hit bookstores last week. Patterson also produced the upcoming film Run, Rose, Run, based on the book that he wrote with country music legend Dolly Parton. That's probably who called him.
You know, she Dolly don't play.
Yeah. Get on the phone. Can I talk to James? And then he's like, oh shit. What's Dolly calling me for? Let me check. Let me check my let me check my cloud. Let me check my phone messages. All right, 0 to 100.
This gets I would say 75. It irritates me, but it ain't one of those things where, I mean, he did apologize, kind of, sort of. Yeah. He didn't double down, so it gets 75.
Okay, I think that's fair. I'm mostly amused by the fact that he has sold so many books.
Come on,
like like this nigga is rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's you know what this right here is.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
He sound like them old white dudes is complaining about the movie industry. You are not the face of this. If that makes sense. Like, no, dog, you've made millions, probably billions of dollars. You are not the one to come out and call this racism out.
Right. Oh, man. Let's see. How about this? Wells Fargo accused of conducting fake interviews to report an increase in diversity hiring efforts.
Oh,
not the Rooney Rule, but for banks.
I'm not trying to be funny. Okay. Let me know. I've been paying attention. Every time one of these lawsuits come up, ain't it with Wells Fargo for all this discrimination shit? Ain't they like the main bank to be like number one in line every time we talk about this?
Yes. Yeah.
What is happening over there?
Over the past years, Wells Fargo's made headlines with scandals ranging from opening up more than 2 million fake accounts, to deny more than half of all refinancing applications for Black homeowners. And if you thought every evil within the institution had been eradicated, just wait until you hear this. According to the New York Times, the bank has been conducting fake job interviews that seemingly increases diversity hiring pool. But while the candidate would make it through the doors of the initial evaluation, they would never hear back about the job, not because they were unqualified, but because the job had already been promised to someone else. A former executive in the wealth management division of Wells Fargo was recently fired in what he believes to be an act of retaliation. Joe Bruno began to take notice of the fact that a diverse candidate, typically a person of color or a woman, will be called in for an interview for a role that had already been filled. He complained to superiors that fake interviews were inappropriate, morally wrong, and ethically wrong.
Right, because you're wasting their time.
He's one of 7 former and current employees that have come forward to say that they were asked to conduct these interviews by their higher-ups. Apparently, the bank had no real intention of increasing their diversity efforts, but what they were in fact concerned about was the possibility of getting audited. The fake interviews were intended to create a paper trail. So
Okay, right. So when the government start looking down and be like, "Hey, you're not interviewing enough others," they can't be like, "Well, we interviewed them," and the people going, "Yeah, I actually hired somebody for that job like last week. Why are we still doing interviews 2 weeks out or a month out? This doesn't make sense. Take the job, take this site off Indeed."
yeah, they definitely need to like.
Somebody need to go and clean motherfucking house, because every time one of these shit come up with some Black or brown people to other people, Wells Fargo, how they even in business? Ain't they spend $1 bazillion on fines and fees?
Yeah, so this is like one of those times where we're like, there's gonna have to be like a boycott or somebody like coming down on them, because you just can't bank with them. Because honestly, it's like, how many more times do y'all have to get told and then get caught in some shit willfully? Oh man, that's so sad. Was also interesting but not surprising is that in the wake of George Floyd's murder in 2020, Wells Fargo's led the call for increased diversity in the workplace. In a quote widely circulated, Charles W. Schwarf, the institution's chief executive, made the pledge and then stated the bank struggled to find Black candidates, and he later apologized for his statement.
I remember that.
So y'all do fake interviews and then don't hire them. It sounds like y'all are finding Black candidates. Y'all just don't want to hire them. Right. Sound like you struggle to hire the Black candidates.
Wasting people's time. People qualified would be excellent. Y'all like, nope.
Bruno, who joined the company back in 2000, was responsible for hiring financial advisors and financial consultants. He says he was advised to hire Black candidates for the financial consultant positions, which were the lower paying of the 2 jobs. But most of the time, Bruno says that they had no intention of hiring these people either, as they typically had already selected someone else for these roles. He eventually reached a point where he refused to conduct the interviews. "I got a Black person on the other side of the table who has no shot at getting a job," he told his bosses. However, Barry Sommers, the chief executive of Wells Fargo Wealth and Investment Management business, says Bruno's claims are false. There's absolutely no reason. Right.
I believe him. You have 7 employees. This is culture. What the fuck you think is happening? This is culture.
It's also like this bank is like when Future says that a woman accusing him of getting her pregnant is lying. Like you don't have the cachet. You know what I mean? Like you done got caught having so many side babies. Now you looking, we at baby number 12 or whatever, and you like, I can't believe y'all would doubt me.
Can't believe it.
Y'all really, this is absolutely unfounded ignorance and bullshit. We would never be racist like the other 5 times we got caught being racist. Okay, fine. We paid those fines. But now you want to act like we being racist again? Now, why would you think that? He says the bank did not track the identities of candidates, but instead focused on the numbers, and the numbers are getting better. Well, here, hold up. Let's talk about that statement. You don't track the identities of the candidates. One, race is definitely on the motherfucking applications.
Right. So identity. So there's some form of identification.
Somebody lying.
Right.
2, you focus on the numbers, and the numbers are getting better. The numbers of what, sir?
Of people applying for the job.
The numbers of
ain't hiring them for.
The numbers of the identities, right? The numbers of Blacks, the numbers of women. Like, so when you say the numbers are getting better, how are you tracking the numbers but not tracking identities? You can't separate you. It has to be intentional if you're doing it. You know what I mean? It has to be intentional because it takes intention to change a trend. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're saying, I want to hire more black people, that does need to be done with intention. You can't do colorblind blank. It has to be, we want black people to be interviewed and get the jobs. Anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be a lawsuit. Somebody said lawsuit. Yeah, it's going to be a lawsuit or something coming from this. Yeah, because trust, it's a lot of people that probably have been like, well, every time I go out there, they guarantee you there's hundreds, probably thousands of jobs that got posted all across the country for positions that are currently filled.
Tony Thorpe was a senior manager for Wells Fargo advisor in Nashville. He was advised to reach out to local colleges and business associations to fill a sales assistant role. Although he had been required to document his attempts to find a non-white hire, Thorpe says he was already informed of who the job would go to. You did have to tell the story, send an email verifying what you've done. You just had to show them that you were trying. So, yeah, that's wild as fuck. 0 to 100, though.
This one gets a 100. And it's one of those things, but I've never banked at Wells Fargo or anything like that. But if I was considering changing banks, it just would not be them, because literally every time we hear about, it's not the other banks don't fuck up, because they do, because they're banks. But it's one of those things where you're listening, like, y'all actually consistently get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, looking crazy, paying ridiculous fines, and then just to turn around and do it over again.
Right. All right, let's get to guess the race.
What's your score? Did you score?
Oh, it's 100.
Okay.
Wachovia 100. Kurt, it's a permanent 100.
Yeah, because I think that used to be
Wells
Wachovia.
Fargo.
Yeah, I think one of them used to be Wachovia First Union. One of them.
I changed it. My bad. Wells Fargo's a constant 100 forever. They just always in some shit. You can't trust anything they say. Then they'll put some press release out next month about how we hiring blacks, and it's like, but are you though? It's always some shit.
Are they hiring for some of the lowest positions if you do hire them?
All right, let's get to guess the race. But first, gentlemen, Father's Day is just around the corner, and our friends at ManScaped are here to ensure all the father figures out there are looking like daddy material this June. Well, I say zaddy material, okay? ManScaped's Performance Package 4.0, which includes a signature Lawnmower 4.0, is the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. That's right. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Don't forget about the ear and nose hair, y'all. Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, tone them balls, all right? Performance boxer briefs and a travel bag to hold your goodies. The travel bag is clutch.
Ain't it though? It's a nice little bag.
And it has room in there too. Like I take
lot of room.
I put my bevel in there too and all that stuff when I go traveling. Does your dad use the same trimmer for his body and face? You got to help that man and help the women that he be around. Throw that out the window, give him an upgrade that he deserves. Okay, you know dads love the comfort. So then he got the Boxer 2.0. You're giving him everything he can actually use, and it's not just ties and socks. All right. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping when you put in code TBGWT at manscaped.com. Trust me, his dad bod will thank you. All right. Now let's get into some guess the race. This time for 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 guess the race. All right, guess the race time. Let's get into it. How about ex-California deputy is sentenced for throwing out urine that exonerated detainee. Threw out the clean pee. A former California deputy was sentenced on Wednesday for throwing away a urine test that proved the detained driver wasn't on drugs before trying to have her jailed anyway on suspicion she was high on meth. Was it just like, you look methy?
Apparently so.
Richard Charles Barrio III, 29, an ex-deputy of Ventura County Sheriff's Office, will spend a year behind bars for a stunt at his police station in November 2019. He pleaded guilty in November for destroying physical matter. The bizarre chain of events unfolded after Barrios pulled over the driver for a traffic violation and suspected she was on meth. Another deputy who arrived at the scene also believed the driver was high, and she was arrested for being under the influence of a controlled substance. Throughout the ordeal, the woman vehemently denied she was intoxicated, and Barrios promised to free her if the drug test came back negative. The woman supplied the deputy with a urine sample. Barrio was caught on surveillance footage at the police station, testing the sample, viewing the results before tossing the urine in the trash. The deputy refused to reveal the test results to the woman and tried to have her booked in the jail, but she complained to another deputy who found a discarded sample and test kit in the garbage. The kit showed the woman's urine sample was negative for all controlled substances. She agreed to another test, which yielded the same results. The woman was released, and then Barrios was charged later. Guess the race of Richard Charles Barrios III.
Right, not to sue the fuck out of him.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. One with an aquarium on his back, says LB. Hispanic, whitely Latino. One of them LA Sheriff Gang Latinos. Latino. All right. Looks like white passing Latino. Looks like everyone's going Latino except for Karen.
Okay. Maybe because it's racist. What's his name again?
His name is Richard Charles Barrio III. Barrios III.
I'm gonna still stay for a while.
Karen's still going white. All right. The correct answer is, and everybody but Karen got it right. He's Latino or Latinx. Congratulations to the rest of y'all. All right. Let's move to the next
because
one.
in my heart I wanted to believe he was white.
Well, whatever reason you want to get it wrong, get it wrong. I ain't judging.
Thank you for not stopping me.
A 45-year-old woman impersonates 22-year-old student for 2 years and no one notices.
What?
Did no one notice or did no one care?
I think no one cared.
She stole her estranged daughter's identity and managed to fool everyone that she was 22 for 2 years, enrolled in the university and dating boyfriends who were convinced she was in her early 20s. They should have known when she didn't know any of the freshman hip-hop people on the cover of the magazine.
Come on.
Laura A. Oglesby risked spending 5 years behind bars without parole as part of a plea deal after admitting to stealing her 22-year-old daughter's identity and committing Social Security fraud. The 45-year-old woman had lived with her daughter in Jonesboro, Arkansas, before moving in Missouri. After they lost contact in 2016, after reportedly a fraudulent Social Security card in her daughter's name, she used that card, she used that card to obtain a driver's license a year later, and the woman also enrolled at Southwest Baptist University in Missouri as her daughter and even applied for student loans and grants in her name. Ooh, she fucked her daughter's credit all up. The charade went on for 2 years and
I see why y'all estranged.
The charade went on for 2 years and no one once questioned her age, apparently convinced she was 22. Everyone believed it. Chief Jamie Perkins of Mountain View Police Department said she even had boyfriends that believed she was age 22 years old. Even Avery and Wendy Parker, the Mountain View couple who took her in from a nearby women's shelter, were convinced she was 22, if not younger. She was a giddy, silly girl. She was 22, but she acted 17. I tried really hard to see that 45-year-old Laura so I can hate her, but all I can see is 22-year-old Lauren, who I just wanted to help. Oh, she didn't change her name that much. I see. It's kind of like Obi-Wan and Ben Kenobi. Authorities described the case as one of the most complex and surprising cases of identity theft they had worked on, noting that the 45-year-old woman had completely assumed becoming a younger person in her early 20s from her clothes, makeup, and personality. Laura A. Oglesby, now 48, was caught in 2018 when authorities in Arkansas contacted Mountain View Police Department searching for a Miss Oglesby who had stolen her own daughter's identity in 2017 to commit financial fraud and embezzled over $25,000. After getting the name of Oglesby's daughter, police learned that she was working at the city library, which they thought was kind of odd. When they stopped her in traffic, the 45-year-old tried to deny she was Laura Oglesby, but once they showed her proof of her real identity, she had no choice but to admit it. She was just running through because she was in a domestic violence relationship and she'd been running for years, Chief Perkins said. Oglesby told the police. We don't know her life story outside of what she told us, but we know what happened here. She had lived that life for a couple years and basically just ruined her daughter's credit. She's now facing prison time, has been ordered to pay back $17,521 to the university, as well as restitution to her daughter, Lauren, for identity theft.
Was that for half a semester?
Guess the race.
White.
Karen's going with white. Let's check the chat room. White. This feels white. Telling the kids to talk to the hand gave her away. White. Mama trying to get her groove back. White. 45. It looks like she's in her 20s. This is a braids on vacation wearing negress. White. That's some white shit. Back to the Future. White. Crooked letter. White. Get it, silly girl. White. The correct answer is, you said white?
Mm-hmm.
White. Leonard Brothers missed it. I know you're thinking black don't crack, Leonard Brothers, but this is also a case of white 22 look like white 45 sometimes.
Yeah, it's like the one on the left.
I think this is the same picture. I don't know.
And the one on the right look almost like two different people. Like she aged by 20 years.
Well, I think it's the same person, so I don't know.
Is one with makeup, one without makeup?
I don't know, Karen. The one on the left look like her regular face. The one on the right look like her mugshot.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The one that look like a mugshot.
The one that's on the left look older to me. Matter of fact, both of these pictures like a different 45-year-old woman. Neither one of these. This one looks like she used a filter and makeup and shit to look younger.
Correct.
But yeah, and this is definitely a filter.
Yeah, she definitely does not look like a child.
Yeah, I don't get. Maybe everyone's just being really polite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe her boyfriend.
They mature fast.
Yeah, her college boyfriends and stuff might have been like, I know she's 45. I can tell because she still got 45-year-old hips. Okay, I've had sex with 20-year-olds, and I'm having sex with this 22-year-old, 45-year-old, and
I mean, they got more experience. Come on,
she can't drop it all the way like it's hot. So
no, she can't.
The knees don't lie.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
The knees was telling the truth like a motherfucker.
Putting it when she was like, I can't bend like that. Come on.
Yeah.
No, you 20. Let's do it on the floor. She was like, what?
Exactly.
Let's do it on the mattresses on the floor. You're like, bitch,
right.
no.
Let's have sex in the car. Oh no.
Them days is over. Fuck that.
All right, bonus round.
What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, bonus round. Karen is 1-1, but can she make it up for triple the points, triple the racism in the bonus round? Let's find out together right now.
Friday at the fast food restaurant. On as manager several times. It happened Friday at the fast food restaurant on Moreland Avenue in East Atlanta. Investigators are looking for a 21-year-old who has been on the run for 3 days.
CBS 46's Megan Packer is live at Grady Hospital where the victim is getting treated. Megan, how is she doing?
Now, this is not the story from yesterday where a restaurant employee shot their manager for not rehiring them at Little Caesars. This is McDonald's where employees shot their manager, and the genders are reversed. That yesterday it was a woman shooting a man. Today it's a man shooting a woman.
Oh, no!
Well, Ellen, she was in critical condition when she was brought here on Friday. She is doing a little bit better. That is according to a representative from the company that owns that McDonald's location. He's actually inside Grady right now visiting his employee. As this beloved boss works on recovering, her coworkers are hoping their fellow employee who's wanted for this crime is caught soon. The McDonald's on Moreland Avenue in East Atlanta is back open under the watchful eye of police days after a shooting outside. Right now, investigators are looking for 21-year-old Christopher Jean-Pierre. He's accused of shooting his manager, Elizabeth Williams, Friday afternoon outside of the fast food restaurant. McDonald's management provided us a picture of him, but we are working to confirm that photo is correct before releasing it. Police have not yet put out a picture of him. Officers say an argument started when Williams asked Jean-Pierre to leave work. They say he came back and shot her outside near the drive-thru. Williams is a beloved boss and a mother. A representative for the restaurant says she's even taken the suspect's clothes home to wash them for him. Atlanta police have warrants out for Jean-Pierre on a number of charges, including aggravated assault and criminal attempt to commit murder. They want to hear from anyone who knows where he is. And as that beloved restaurant manager stays here at Grady Hospital and works on recovering, we are learning that it is a close group of people who work at this East Atlanta McDonald's. They are all pulling for her. We were out there earlier today. I spoke with one worker when he was on his break, and he was just in disbelief. They can't believe that this is something that they are dealing with at their restaurant, hoping for a resolution soon. If you know anything, again, about where this suspect could be, Atlanta police want to hear from you. We are live outside of Grady Hospital in Atlanta. I'm Megan Packer, CBS 46 News.
Police find a murder.
All right, Karen. Guess the race of Christopher Jean-Pierre.
I'm going to go black.
All right, let's check the chat room. Neptune Nat.
Oh no.
Atlanta Brothers in the chat today. Fire straight heat. Straight racist heat. Atlanta McDonald's Grady Hospital Juneteenth supporter. Trey Songz fan, black. He was in there like, don't do it. Grady, anything is black in Atlanta. Hell, mention Atlanta black, Haitian black. Oh, he black. That is a Haitian name. Oh, like J.L. Covan. I see. Christopher Jean-Pierre. Yeah, Atlanta's all I really got to go with. Les Niga. The correct answer is black. Man, it's really sad that she used to take his clothes home for him and wash his uniform and shit.
Because she cared.
Yeah, this motherfucker shot her, dog. Oh, you really hate to hear the stories of when you try to help somebody and they still kill you or shoot you. It's like, damn, man, people, it's just,
you never know what's
this
going
is
through.
why I am pro no prisons. This is why I say we just need to talk to this boy. Let him know this is not okay to do. Just give him a stern finger wag and you say, hey, cut that out, buddy. You calm down, Buster. And then he'll stop, and then we won't need prison, police, or nothing. And that's how it works. That's what I was told on the internet.
That is not how that works.
Well, you know what? You take it up with the people, with the prison abolitionists that have me blocked on Twitter. Okay.
I'm not taking it up with
I'm
you.
in their Twitter jail, but they don't believe in no real jail.
Come on.
It's crazy when you think about it.
Don't make sense, does it?
That's what I'm dealing with.
One strike and you out, ain't you?
I'm just saying. Man stabbed with sword multiple times in downtown Vancouver. A man has been hospitalized after being stabbed with a sword multiple times in downtown Vancouver on Sunday night. The 34-year-old victim suffered serious injuries, but is expected to recover. He was in and out of consciousness as he was being treated at the scene. He was rushed to the hospital to receive further treatment, said Sergeant Steve Addison by email. We think he will survive. The incident took place in a building near Main and Hastings Street just before 9 p.m. Police said they were called to reports of two men arguing and getting violent. Police said the suspect has been identified as known to police officers. Aren't they always? Them samurais be known. Officers believe it was a targeted incident, not a Walmart incident. We're still collecting. It sounds more like a Walmart incident than a targeted incident, but okay. We're still collecting evidence. Anticipate the charges could be laid to conclusion of this at the conclusion of this investigation. So there you go, y'all. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. We'll be back Tomorrow, I believe our guest is Brandon Collins, and it'll be 5 p.m. Y'all can come check us out. Drunk Black History, you know the deal. Bum, bum, bum. We'll see y'all then. Thanks to Roy Wood Jr. for being our guest on the show today.
Yay, that was fun.
Always generous with his time. Always comes through. Always funny. And yeah, that's it for today. So until tomorrow, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.